What's good, gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. This time we are talking about the interview between Taike Kubo and Hiro and Kohei Horikoshi, of course, the mangakas for Bleach, as well as My Hero Academia. This interview happened a bit ago. This was in the second Hiroaka data book. I think it was, what was it called? What the hell was it called? Like Ultra something. So yeah, the full translation of the article came in finally. And I thought I'd do a video on this. Now we got a little bit and pieces from the translation when it first came out from James Hatch. Did a video and told us like, yeah, well, it's just like that now. There's no Bleach news in any of this. So I finished reading. I just recently finished reading, and it was a pretty fun read. It was quite interesting to see some of the more behind the scenes stuff between what went down these guys' minds while they were making Hiroaka and Bleach. So without further ado, man, let's just jump right in. Also, one other thing, for any anime onlys watching this video, warning, there will be some spoilers in here for Season 4, and as well as the article itself has probably, I would almost assume that will end up being a major spoiler for probably something that happens in like Season 5, so if you guys want to read the whole article itself, or the whole interview, it's be down below, but anime onlys beware, there are some spoilers in there, so if you don't want to know anything what's going to happen, don't watch this video or read the interview. For everyone else, let's just jump right in. So let's start from the start. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll just go through some like from some of my more favorite parts of it. So we'll start with how they first met as well as their opinions of each other's work. So the interviewer asks, when was the first time you two met in person? Horikoshi replies with, I believe we were introduced to each other at a celebratory dinner shortly after my first series ended. Translation note: Horikoshi's first series, Omaga Doki Zoo, ran from July 2010 to April 2011. Kubo replies with, that's not what I remember, and laughs. I seem to recall it was at a party over at Masu's-kun's house. That is a manga for Assassination Class, which you guys know. Love that series. That anime was fucking amazing, man. Horikoshi replies with, being surrounded by all those people made me nervous back then, so I hid in a corner of the room all night. You see how Izuku and Horikoshi are very similar, and even Kubo points this out a little bit later on in the interview, which we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, I can just imagine Horikoshi's like, oh my god, I am in front of all these legends. A few of these are like literally creators of manga I grew up with. Oh my god! Like I can just imagine how nervous Horikoshi was. Man, hell, I probably would be too if you put me in a room with a bunch of some of my favorite film directors. I'd be like, oh my god. So I feel you, Horikoshi. I feel you, man. That must have been around the time my second series ended, which was the second series was Barage, which ran from May 2012 to September 2012. Yeah, and this is Kubo. Yeah, I have no memory of chatting with you that night, laughs. But when we did eat together recently, I didn't keep up with Jump while my series was running. But when I picked it up again after my series was over, Hiroaka caught my attention. That's why I wanted to grab a meal with Horikoshi-kun, who took the opportunity to invite me here. It said, okay, next up, please tell us what impressed you about each other's works. Kubo says, I was constantly blown away by the amount of detail it has for a weekly serialization. In fact, I think the biggest differences between our manga is the intricacy of the backgrounds. Well, Kubo-sensei, characters can fill a page with their... Well, Kubo-sensei's characters can fill a page with their presence. That is very true. Some of the art in Bleach, man, where it's just them. Oh, God. Kubo is a fucking god with a pen, man. But their presence alone. Since I don't have the artistic skill to pull that off... I think, Horikoshi, you've had your moments, man. You've had your moments. Okay, presence alone, the artist will pull that off. I put a lot of detail into my backgrounds to compensate. For me, attention to detail is the key to success. The characters in Hiroaka are almost more than capable of holding their own. What stood out to me in the particular were the fight scenes in that pipe-filled abandoned factory during the joint battle training. They were spectacular. As I was reading, I kept thinking to myself, there's no way I could draw something like this, last. And Jesus fucking Christ, the Horikoshi, man, you absolute mad lad, like, why are you trying this many pipes? Like, yep, Godspeed to Studio Bones, although I won't be surprised if they just CGI all this. My man Horikoshi drew all of this. This man's fucking insane. Are you trying to get yourself into the hospital, man? Put yourself in the hospital? Anyway, every week of that arc, my assistants would ask me, How much longer will this last? I need a space in which every character could flaunt their skills, and that was my solution. If I were in your shoes, I would have found a way to avoid drawing all those pipes. Like, Kubo mentions, like, throughout the interview, Kubo mentioned last, like, I would have tried to have done this or done that, you know, which he's probably making fun of himself, because I know, around, like, the end of Bleach, like, you know, around 1,000 Year Blood, where when Kubo's health was really getting bad, the backgrounds were almost non-existent, so that's probably him just, like, pointing fun at himself, because, you know, the man had a torn ligament in, like, his right hand, I think throughout a majority of, like, the last couple years of Bleach, and he didn't find out till after the series ended, and he found that out. So, yeah, this is probably just, I wouldn't be surprised at him just poking fun at himself. Anyway. Those kinds of clever workarounds don't even cross my mind, so I'm seriously jealous of Kubo-sensei's artistic prowess and design sense. It's not just me either. I'm sure every manga artist would agree that Kubo-sensei is the embodiment of good taste. Oh, you are so right, Horikoshi. Now, this section I found probably the most interesting out of the interview. Mirio's introduction scene was a failure. Who is your favorite character in the other person's series? Horikoshi says that his is Mayuri, which had me laughing when I saw that. I was like, Mayuri? Because I always thought, and I'm not a big fan of Mayuri. Now, granted, if I say that, like I mentioned before, and I've mentioned this countless other times, when it comes to Bleach, I've only seen up to like about halfway through the battle arc, so I haven't really got to see Mayuri, because in the Soul Society arc, the man is pretty much pointing out it as a villain, although Kubo actually brought something up later in the interview, which I'll talk about that, say about he didn't want him to come off as a villain. So, I actually found that guy surprised, because I thought it would have been like Ichigo, since him and Izuku share the same birthdays. Or maybe it could have been like Toshiro or someone, I don't know. But Horikoshi says Mayuri is my favorite character by far. In fact, I asked Kubo-sensei to draw Mayuri for me when I got his autograph in the past. I like his first appearance the most, since he gave off this mysterious aura that made you question his humanity. He left quite the impact on you, eh? When it comes to Mayuri, anything goes. The dread of not knowing what he's plotting makes him a standout character. An ironclad rule of shonen manga battles is that the protagonist will win no matter what, no matter how bad the situation gets. But each time I drew Mayuri, I wanted the audience to eagerly anticipate what strange method he'll use to win. So I'm glad you felt that way. I never intended to portray the 13 Core Guard squads as the bad guys. Rather, I tried to show their differences of opinion without making them morally black or white. I would finally almost have to disagree with him with how Mayuri was written in the Soul Society arc, but like I mentioned before, it probably gets brought up and explained later on this series, so I'm not going to harp on that, because the way he came off in that arc was just like he was the villain, but maybe there was I wouldn't be surprised if there was a method to his madness. I did my best to flesh them out so the reader wouldn't treat them as villains. I completely understand. As for me, I like Denki. This shocked me the most, because I was like, Denki? Like, because when I hear Kubo say his favorite hero character, the characters that come to my mind might be Izuku, but that was kind of like, no, probably not. I was thinking you probably would have been a bigger fan of like Todoroki, you know, maybe Tokoyami, you know, Bakugo, maybe, or literally like Kaminari was not nowhere near the top of my list of characters that I would think would be Kubo's favorite, but hey, it is. He plays a very amusing role in the story. Despite having an extremely powerful ability, he looks pretty weak. That's part of his charm. Each Hiroaka character has their own distinct strengths, so it's hard to pick favorites. That said, I also like Miori, which I was kind of expecting him to be like. It probably might have been like someone like him. So it's like, and then Horikoshi asks, "What did you like about him?" That scene where he single-handedly protects little Eri won me over. When the fuck is this getting animated? I need this thing, yo. I don't care if I'm spoiling myself, man. Yo, this is gonna be fucking hype. Y'all are gonna see me lose my fucking mind when this gets animated, ladies and gentlemen. Like, oh my god, don't worry, I'll be your hero. Yeah. Oh, Horikoshi, man, you ain't playing. That, to be honest, I thought I failed to make Mayuri come across as an interesting character the first time he showed up. The position of a caring older brother is definitely a tough one to fill. Yet, furthermore, his debut scene ended before I had the chance to show his emotional range, which meant he was reduced to being a plot device. At that point, I felt so sorry for Miori that I vowed to have him deliver a strong impact on the readers. You definitely succeeded in that, Horikoshi. If I could make them think, wouldn't this guy be a great protagonist? Oh my god, that literally, yep, you definitely succeed in that, Horikoshi. Then it'd be my victory. That motivated me to draw. Yeah, the aforementioned scene did make me think that. Next up, we got what they would make their own personal quirks, and these responses are just fucking hilarious. Especially Kubo's. Horikoshi is a little disheartening, but Kubo, man, that man is a fucking savage. So, what would you say your personal quirk is? In addition, if you could have manifest any kind of quirk, what would it be? Horikoshi says his is sleeping. This is funny, but it's so disheartening because we know the strain, like in the conditions mangakas have to work with, man. It's fucking ridiculous, man. It'd be nice to have a quirk that lets me function without sleep. Oh my god, man, this is so funny but so sad at the same time. My quirk would be the ability not to feel sick after eating tons of delicious food. So in other words, he wants to be like Luffy or Goku. I wish I had a quirk that makes anything 0 calories. A 0 calorie quirk sounds amazing. I could even render my opponents immobile by reducing their calories to 0. It doesn't just lower the amount of calories you consume to 0, that's overpowered. True, a quirk that could erase your enemy's calories would be overpowered. It'd certainly be popular with the ladies. Kubo, man, straight savage. But with a name like that, it get mistaken as some kind of sandwich. Now this part really had me interesting. It says, my heroes, including Kubo Sensei. In your eyes, what is a hero, and what evil do they face? Kubo says, that's a question to which the man behind Hero Aka must reply. I love Kubo's just like, you're making a superhero manga, Horikoshi. How would you respond to this? I love it. Alright, I'll answer that in the manga. Horikoshi says, in the pursuit of critical acclaim, I'm drawing with the hopes of revealing my answer in the final chapter. I'm looking forward to that moment. And you got me curious too, Horikoshi, with that one. I'm curious what that's going to be about when we see that in the anime. So from here, the dude asked Horikoshi what did Bleach influence him, and he asked that Bleach was publishing while he was in middle school. So Horikoshi mentioned how he would doodle little OCs with Zanpakutos. I would love to see Horikoshi's early Bleach fan art. I would love to see what Zanpakutos he came up with. But one thing he mentions was what were some of his heroes, and he mentions, of course, the big three: Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Ichiro Oda, Masashi Kishimoto, and Tite Kubo, the mangakas behind the big three. I repeat, the big three, for you idiots that actually think Dragon Ball was part of the big three, is Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. I swear to God, that's literally some of the most retarded shit I've seen. It feels like, oh no, Dragon Ball is part of the big three. It was long finished by that point. Jesus Christ. Anyway, mini rant aside. So he also mentions and so from here he mentions right here he says, Horikoshi mentions that in any event, Bleach was responsible for for integrating the power of words in me. My sensibility is nowhere near as polished as yours, however, which is why some might view me as unrefined. In terms of passion, or rather, I give the impression that I'm a nervous wreck. And my man Kubo here, man, this is just straight sadness. He says, I knew Deku, goddamn Kubo, you too! I knew Deku was a huge worry ward. And talking with you has made it clear why. You're two peas in a pot! Oh man, I designed Deku to be plain and average on purpose, but now I'm not sure why I made him so boring. His weakness is that he worries for the sake of worrying, and has trouble thinking on his feet. Horikoshi, I'm gonna have to kind of question you on that, because Izuku is actually really good on his feet, so I don't know what you mean by that, but anyway. Okay, like me, he struggles to make progress because he's always doubting himself. That's negativity is kind of adorable though. Way before, this is what interesting. It says, way before I started Hero Waka, a veteran artist told me at a dinner party, "You'll feel invincible once you're famous." But I haven't changed one bit. I'm still more insecure than content. Since there are people out there who are several times more amazing than I am, I can't let myself get cocky. Very true. Last time we were together, didn't I tell you that once you reach the top, the only direction you can go is down? Kubo Sensei, I never forget the words you said to me long ago. We were in a taxi together when I confessed to you that I had no idea what my forte is. You immediately replied, art, of course, and I felt the path open up before me. I don't remember having that discussion, but that's precisely how I would respond if you were to tell me that same thing right now. I'm flattered. And so let's finish this up with about the end of the interview, where he says, "Lastly, Kubo Sensei, could you give any advice to the young rivals who grew up reading your series? We didn't talk much about this, but my generation had to draw while bearing in mind that everyone considered the area of Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk to be the golden age of manga. We were constantly plagued by self-doubt, even though everyone thinks their manga is the best in the world, as they're working on it. We couldn't shake off the fear that our series weren't on par with the ones we enjoyed as children. Today, Horikoshi-kun reassures me that the most interesting jump is the one you used to read. That means the current youth considers whatever they're reading now to be the most interesting. I'm so happy. That's comforting to hear. I can tell that some of these newer series were inspired by Hiroaka. I'm sure kids these days are noticing too. That's concerning. I'll work even harder to stay ahead. Thanks a lot for today, Kubo Sensei. Same to you." And there's a little work that I believe Kubo drew this actually, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kubo drew this. Where no. Each of them drew each other MC and with UA Sports with UA outfits on, so you get to see Ichigo rocking a UA outfit. Which, man, looks good in that. And of course, next to him is Ichigo. So yeah, that is the end. There's obviously a lot more of it in there. Like they also mentioned about what their special moves were. Obviously, I mentioned before Horikoshi mentioned how Bleach, how he had did little doodles and like school or whatever at home of Bleach characters with his own characters like the Zanpakutos and everything. It was honestly a really interesting read. There's some other stuff in there that I didn't talk about. So if you guys want to see the whole article or interview for yourself, I'll have a link down in the description box below. So yeah. Tell me down below what you guys thought about this interview. No Bleach news was mentioned in this, obviously, which I didn't expect. Nobody really expected that. But it was just so nice to see these two manga interacts. Some of my two personal favorites, man. Now, let's get Horikoshi Kishimoto to do an interview, and then it will be perfect. Then he's done, because he's already done one with Oda. He just now done one with Kubo. Now, when's he gonna do one with Kishimoto? I'm waiting for the Naruto, because, between the two series, Hiroaka has a lot more in common with Naruto than it does Bleach, if you ask me. Black Clover is definitely way more inspired by Bleach. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, flag and links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
She's